Hmm. Oh yeah, take it out. Technical difficulties. Hi. All right. Hello. Hello. Hello to everyone joining us today. Today is a special day because we have Miss Maritza Gomez. And now, saludos to everybody on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, and on Tejano TV. As you can see, Miss Maritza has a lovely Tejano TV shirt on that she got from Juan Mendoza. Cough, cough. All right. So before we go into this wonderful lady's story, because I did not know her, I'm going to be real honest. I had heard of her name, but being under the cave of being a teacher, I was, not hadn't heard much. So I called her up to get some information. And so now I'm going to give you a chance to introduce yourself, Miss Maritza Gomez, and you tell me, and you tell us, anybody who hasn't heard who Maritza Gomez is, go ahead and tell us now.
Saludos a todos. Maritza Gómez aquí con Gigi. Gracias por invitarme. Ahorita estoy en Austin, Texas, un lado de the University of Texas. So we're at the place where the students hang out to come out and eat and hang out pretty much. So I'm here visiting my daughter who attends the University of Texas and also with great company aquí con Gigi. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show and for allowing me to tell a little bit more about myself so people can know who I am and of course my music all behind all this. So as you know, I'm nominated for Tejano Music Awards, which will be taking place soon. I believe it's latter part of November. So my first nomination is as best new female artist. It's the category. So estoy bien agradecida para esta nominación, and I know that um, this could not have been happening if the people, you guys that are been listening to my music, um, would not have been listening or liking it. Then I think I'm in the right direction with this nomination. It says a lot, so I'm gonna continue writing songs for you, and I'm just so grateful for that.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Uh, now, me myself, like I mentioned, I had heard your name, but honestly, I hadn't gone and heard, or at least put two and two together. Okay, now I know who you are, but it took a while. So for what I did is, as you all know who watch Giras y Desveladas, I like to do my homework. Right? Turns out I learned a lot. I did my homework, but I just wasn't feeling it because usually I like to make the connection, and the connection that we have here is that we both know Juan Mendoza Jr., the one who gave you that lovely shirt. but anyway, so that's our connection. So I called up Marisa. I said I want to know her. I let me just talk to her and see what the deal is. All right. And I was so pleasantly surprised that to know that you're an educator as well, like myself, like Miss Lori Jean. And so that right there, there's a connection already. And the first thing I thought of, and I remembered, and I know I mentioned it to you, I said, now, Roberto Pulido came on to our forum, Giras y Desveladas, to talk to anybody wanting to go into the music business, to make sure they have their education first, to make sure that they have their degree, that they have their career before they go into the music business. And you have done that. And not only have you done that, you have done that in such a wonderful way that I'm going to show something. High School Educator of the Year finalist. High School Educator of the Year finalist. Okay. So you're already doing awesome in your field. Obviously, you've been recognized by your school district. And so then I wondered, because now I'm a child of a Tejano pioneer. Laura Jean is a child of a Tejano pioneer. So I always like want to know, like, how did you end up here in the music business? How did you end up, being a performer? And your answer was what?
Well, I actually started at a young age uh, in Grapevine with my mom and my sister. We used to perform at the High Ho, which it's in Grapevine, and we used to perform every weekend. My parents were divorced when I was 5, so my mom was a single parent, and we lived in Laredo. Then my mom uh, relocated the family to the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex area, and so she used to coach us with our voices, and she got us to perform almost every weekend at the Grapevine, and um, I remember that that would help pay for the bills at the time, and if we for whatever reason to her liking, if we didn't perform well, we knew we were gonna get it at home, and by that I mean more practice sessions. We couldn't go out, and play or visit our neighbors and such. And so we had a duty, and that duty was to perform and sing well to help pay for the bills. And then that was almost every weekend. And then, of course, our priority was also to complete any school assignments, right? And my mom never allowed us to get C's or B's. You know, we had to make sure that we grades. Um, Aside from also performing on weekends at this venue, and when we would perform, at the time we didn't even know who we were performing with, but until later in life when we sat down and asked my mom, "Hey, mom, who were we playing with?" And uh,
Oh, I think your sound went out a little bit. I don't know if it's me or.
oh, Renacimiento 74 were the ones that were. They were basically like the big bands of the era, that were performing there, and they would play while we would sing, and there were other top bands that would play there. I think Little Joe was playing there as well. Los Tigres del Norte would play there. I mean, these were like the top bands of the time. Who now, they're these bands are major leagues in the industry.
Can you repeat the name again? Because I think you went out when you were giving out the names. When you were
Yeah,
dropping names.
it was Renacimiento 74. Little Joe would also play there. Los Tigres del Norte would also play there. These were just uh, they were just huge bands at the time, and who are now. These bands are well known worldly, worldwide. So, and at the time we were just wanting to play to help pay for those bills with my mom, and then after a while, everything got more stable, and we were not showing up to perform anymore, and so the owner went out of his way, and he would come and knock on the door, and my sister and I would peek through the window. We knew it was him, and we would hide behind the door, and my mom would open, and he would ask, "What's going on? Why haven't they gone?" And my mom said, "Well, there's no need anymore. They're not going to be going, and they're only going to be singing now at church and at the school choir." And I remember looking at my sister and said, "No, I want to sing. I want to go." But my mom didn't allow us anymore. So we just went about our way. But he wasn't giving up. He would come, you know, once in a while, and it was him knocking, but we were no longer allowed to go to perform. But we did miss it. Um, and then so eventually, we moved back to Laredo, and we would still perform, but only like on family gatherings, quinceañeras, weddings, baptisms, backyard barbecues, etc., karaoke in our own homes and such with the family. And it was not until 2020, as you know, that year is forever in in everyone's minds, because it was COVID times. So we lost one of our good friends that we loved so much, like a family member or brother. And I remember sitting in my couch, looking outside through my doors, and remembering the great times that we all would spend in the backyard. Hmm. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to write a song. And I started writing. I wrote my first song, and a friend of mine who was giving my daughter some virtual enrichment lessons on violin, because my daughter was part of the orchestra, but there, I think all freshmen at the time could not even attend school because of COVID. So they were all taking virtual lessons, and even us as teachers were conducting classes virtually. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to sign up for something just to keep me busy with Ruben Vargas, who used to play for Mariachi Sol de America. And he tells me, hey, have you ever thought about recording? So he's the one that started everything.
He
He
started.
started, he started everything. And then I said, you know what, Ruben, I wrote a song. And he said, really? Send it to me. So I sent it to him right away. And he says, hey, this is good for a mariachi song. And so we recorded it and such. And then so we're like, okay. So he put it together, and then he says, now you're going to need to come lay the vocals. I said, but where? With who or what? And he said, well, I got a friend, Rene Gasca. He lives here in Laredo. He's and I said, who's that? And he said, Rene Gasca. And I go, who's that?
Yeah, but who?
I didn't know. And then when he tells me, I'm like, what? So Rene Gasca happens to be the trumpet player for the song Bidi Bidi Bam Bam, de Selena, right? And so he's the first instrument that you hear in the song, and that's the trumpet. That's a really high pitched note that he puts out there, and when he's playing it, and then parts here and there throughout the song, and then he also worked in other projects, with A.B. Quintanilla, Chris Perez, and now sometimes he goes out with Los Cumbia Kings and Alicia Villarreal as well. And so he's telling me all this, and I'm like, what? And he says, yes. You need to come and lay the vocals. And so we go. I go. Right, my husband and I. We stop by, and I got to meet him. And so it just went from there. And then so the song was out. The song was recorded, and I had it in my possession now. And so now it was time to release it. So I was always under the impression that in order to release your music, you need to have a record label, right? So I knew I didn't have one, so I wasn't going to be able to release it. That, that was those were my thoughts, and so uh, and the Lord is amazing.
Yes.
My name,
Guides you. He guides you to where you need to go.
yes, He does. So my neighbor, hmm, Carlos Landin, he used to play este, for the Rondells back in the day. And then he was also superintendent of schools
Wow.
in Dallas Fort Worth. He was one of the superintendents as well. So he knew I was writing a song, and then my husband, because remember it's still COVID, so we couldn't visit. So we go out to the backyard, and then he tells Carlos, "Hey, Carlos, the song is out." No, he says, "Carlos, I want you to come outside because there's a song that somebody's singing, but I can't tell who the person is that's singing it." And so Carlos was really good about recognizing voices, especially in music. So he calls him out, tells him to come out, and through our fence, my husband has the song, full blast, for all the neighbors to hear. And so Carlos comes out and he's listening to the song, and then he's just saying, wait, wait a minute, no, it can't be. Is it the daughter? No, it's not the daughter. Wait, it's the granddaughter. And so, is it the granddaughter? He said, sí. Dice, es la granddaughter de Lucha Villa.
Wow.
And my husband says, Lucha Villa? Sí, es la granddaughter de Lucha Villa. And
So
then
sure.
I'm looking at him. I said, ¿es Lucha Villa, Carlos? Dice, no, no es Lucha Villa, es la nieta de Lucha Villa. And so my husband looks at him. He says, Carlos, es Maritza, ahí está. Eres tú, Maritza. Te oyes como una lucha vieja.
Wow.
So that was a great a
Compliment,
great
really?
sí, and when coming from Carlos, and he liked the song, like the voice. And then I said, okay, Carlos, pero I don't have a record label, no va a salir. He says, you don't need a record label for the song to come out, mija. And so he we go back in the house, sends us a text, and he says, come outside. So we went outside, and he gives me a paper with a lot of little notes, contacts, and he said, here, tell him Carlos Landin sent you and give him your music. And thanks to him, that song was all over the place.
Wow. I
COVID,
love that.
COVID year, Grita Conmigo, it's on my album that was released called Así in 2023. And it was my first song that I released, the mariachi song, thanks to Carlos Landin. He who boosted, and trusted my lyrics and my song. Uh, I am where I am today.
And when like I said, I needed to know you. And when I called you up and I heard your story, I love your story. And I'm a firm believer that, God closes doors because He's opening other doors. He's leading the way to where you're supposed to be. And there's a message to be heard. One of the things that I love that you said, let me see if I can find the picture that goes along with what I'm telling you. Oh, right here.
Yes.
Follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams.
Hmm. It's never too late, to be what you might have been.
And now tell us the audience what you've been nominated for, because you've just been, and what awards you've received, what recognition you've had. And I mean, you just floored me with everything that you've been nominated for. And that message about don't ever give up. Tell us tell us
Yeah. So when my song, that first song came out, "Grita Conmigo," right? It was in all of the internet radio and AM/FM radio networks. Again, thanks to Carlos Landil, and of course the DJs, right, who were playing and liked the music. And then shortly after, I get nominated for the Brownsville Music Legacy Awards, uh, and I received the award for that, um, for that nomination. And then I started releasing more songs, uh, who, that are in my album again, called Así. And I started getting more nominations, Premios Tejano Mundial, um, and then also recently the Pura Vida Awards at the Tobin Center, um, and then now just Tejano Music Awards.
Wow, wow. I mean, that was not an easy feat. And just to, I mean, and it's been hard work as well. It's not been easy. What would you like? I'm very inspired by you, Maritza. And what did you say? It does look, because I wondered, well, where did you come out of? And basically, you said in 2020, in the pandemic, that's when. So that's fairly recent in musician time, performer time, that you've been out there. Yet you have all these accolades that you've accumulated already in such a short time. What is your advice to anybody out there wanting to follow their dreams, wanting to follow the footsteps of Maritza Gomez?
I think the first thing is to arm yourself with a support system. Your support system uh, is very important.
And who's your support system?
So, which has to be your immediate family, of course, and then of course your producers, the people behind your music, your musicians, right? And you need to feed off of that energy that they provide for you. That,
I love that message. And you also said, it's never too late. I love that. It's never too late. It is never too late. Um,
late. So I was just very blessed, um, to have all of these right pieces of, uh, the structure that just
the pieces of the puzzle got together. Everything. Yes.
together, and the people, that he placed in my path. Um, the musicians in the majority of my songs, Ruben Vargas, Rene Gasca, Adolf Alonso, who used to play for La Mafia. He's in my music projects. Nacho Puente, used to play for Excelencia. Uh, Drew, the drummer, plays for Magnifico Siete. Is just amazing, and uh, having been a band member myself, in high school, I always give the gratitude to the musicians, because yes, we put the voice in our music, but without musicians,
Yeah.
música.
Yeah. You don't. You're just a voice.
No,
um,
no noise, beautiful noise, and that's what they bring to our music, to our project. And writing songs, it just, sometimes they ask me, was how long does it take for you to write? Sometimes it takes me 3 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. Sometimes it might take me a week, and only because I'm interrupted. I'm writing, then I get interrupted. I don't have time to come back to it till maybe a week after, and that's just the way it is. And to be a female songwriter, we have to knock on a lot of doors. There's
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of doors that we have to cross, and I think also it's the people that are behind your music that are helping you bring down those barriers so that people can listen to your lyrics, not just your music, but your message in
Yeah.
and so my songs. I always, as an English teacher, wanted to write a book. That was my dream. Gonna write a book sometime, somewhere, or whenever I have time, and then being spending time with young adults on a daily basis because I teach high school. Um, I saw that they don't want to read books.
Yeah.
They want to read, but not books.
Eh,
So
there- it's a new generation. They've got audio books and they've got it's a different generation. It's a different breed of kids.
I write a book, but then when I started writing in 2020, I said I'm still gonna write. They're going to be stories, but they're going to be short stories in my songs. I'm turning those short stories into songs.
There you go.
That's what I did, and so what I started also reflecting on. Okay, where am I getting these stories from? So then I took uh, uh, a trip to the past, mentally. And I remembered that when I was young, my grandmother in Mexico, in Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, would always take me to visit the cemetery, especially for Dia de los Muertos.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I never wanted to go. Why just me? You got more grandkids. Porque I want to play. A mí siempre me llevaba. And then, okay, so I would go, and Dia de los Muertos, everybody, was taking flowers. There was a lot of vendors. There was a lot of people visiting their loved ones, and then they would come and talk to my grandmother. So I had no other choice but to stand next to my grandmother and listen. So those are the stories.
Look, that's what you were getting prepared for. You were getting prepared for it. Let me take a little time to saludos to Laila Mendoza. Saludos out there. Tell your hubby that I really like the shirt Maritza's got on. All right. Just kidding, Layla. Paul Westbrook, saludos. He says, hello, ladies. Congrats on the nomination, Miss Gomez. Yes, big congrats. And Bobby Castañeda, he says, hello, Gigi and Maritza. I would love to see an interview with Carlos Landon if he's still with us. He is a pioneer of our genre. So, get us connected, Miss Maritza Gomez. Give him my number and let's get him on here and let him talk about what he's doing and how he helped out Maritza Gomez. That'll be great. So,
Yeah, Carlos Landin passed away.
oh,
Landin passed away, my neighbor. But I always have him in my heart, in my thoughts, and all the gratitude to him all the time. And his son, Carlitos Way, accordions.
oh wow. Well, I'm sorry about that. But anybody that has helped you out along the way, definitely would like to hear their process and how, because I'm with the foundation, the Tejano Music Legacy Foundation, and it is to preserve the past, celebrate the present, which is you, and inspire the future of Tejano music. Inspire the future of Tejano music. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, si Dios quiere, vamos a entregar some donations from Linda Escobar. She donated an accordion. Mel Hearts Music donated a guitar. And as part of Juan Guerrero Los Chicanos, we're going to donate a bass guitar also to the program because we want the kids to know Tejano music. There's like a gap. There's like a gap, and I'm so glad and so happy that you're part of first of all, woman power. So proud of that. And but also very glad that you're out there putting Tejano music out there. Because we've got a new generation of kids. There's a whole generation that kind of missed the Tejano boat, you know, and we want to get them on. And so I'm so glad that you're doing this. And let me as before I ask you what your future plans are, I'll just put a picture out.
I'm gonna donate a jacket, one of my jackets.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
my insignia. One of the songs I wrote, it's called El Campo Santo. And that one's for Dia de los Muertos, and I wrote it again in celebration of my grandmother because she used to take me to those, festivities in Mexico. And so one of my insignias on my jacket, it's like the Catrina on the back. So
Oh,
it's got the sugar skull atrás.
oh, how cool. Let me okay, so right now, and by the way, everybody listening and anybody who's not watching us live, thank you for watching us on Tejano TV. We've got channel Giras y Desveladas that you can watch us on. The new format, the new Tejano TV format is out. Or you can watch us on YouTube or see us back on Facebook. But for those of you watching or going to watch, vote for Maritza Gomez. Here we go. She has been nominated at the 44th Tejano Music Awards for what is it new what is the
Best female, best new female. Hmm.
best new female artist. So congratulations to that. And then for your future projects, who dat? Who dat?
Oh my goodness. Yes, he's an amazing, amazing man. Full of talent. He's the one that started everything for cumbias and Tejano and um, es un gran señor. I can compare him to Vicente Fernandez for
Oh, whoa.
cumbias.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Era
Yeah,
un hombre de lleno de puro talento con su voz y mariachi. Y Tony Guerrero y La Sombra es un señor, gran señor, con mucho talento, con la cumbia. ¿Quieres bailar? ¿Quieres alguien que te despierte, que te mueva, to motivate you and just sing and forget about everything and just have fun? Tony Guerrero y La Sombra, the people to go to.
awesome, awesome plug for Mr. Tony Guerrero. Yes, he's just an awesome individual altogether, the consummate professional,
Claro.
and definitely very, very proud. He's definitely someone that shines a good light on Tejano music. I've got Rosie Delgado. Saludos. Hello, everyone. Hi, Miss Rosie Delgado. Thank you for chiming in. Um, so that's for your future plans. Let me see what else did you send me. These are just random pictures and like again, people that you've worked with, people you've bumped into. I love this right here. Teacher to perform at Pura Video Awards. How awesome is that? And I love how you mentioned that your school district, was kind of highlighting you because that's awesome. So not only are they focusing on you as a great teacher and they're also acknowledging your your talent. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm teaching at my alma mater. So it's like it just feels great coming back to your alma mater and giving back to your school that helped you grow and
Yeah.
prepare you for life, and the school district as well. So um, my superintendent used to used to be a band member in another city though, and not in Laredo, but she's a great supporter of music. So
That's important too.
it is, yes. And saludos a Dr. Silvia Rios, the superintendent of Laredo ISD. and her administration, and of course our school board members. And so word got around, right, that I had been nominated for best female artist of the year for the Pura Vida Awards, and I was alongside with Elida Reina and Patsy Torres.
Wow.
Yes.
You wow, yeah.
I,
Saludos to sorry, real quick. Saludos to Supermex. Sam Lopez, saludos. Oh, looky. Juan Mendoza Jr. Saludos, ladies. Thank you for letting us work with both of you. Yes, thank you very much. Did I mention that I love her shirt, Mr. Juan Mendoza Jr.? I don't. I you know, just saying. Supermex says congratulations. So, saludos to Mr. Juan Mendoza Jr. and his lovely wife, Lila. They're doing so much for Tejano music as well. I am, I'm so blessed, and we both are so blessed to be, uh, amongst these guys that are really putting Tejano back. I feel they're really putting Tejano back on the map with their Tejano shows, with their oldies, with the Tejano classics, and with the, especially the new stuff. And that's where you come in. Yeah, and sadly, due to technical difficulties, I will not be able to show because it was my other computer that I could show the videos on. This one I cannot. I was gonna put the your recent the your most recent video. Ni modo. No.
yes. So that song Mi Modo, it has been making some noise, some really loud noise, and again, it's all because of the support system, the people behind your music, um, and including your promoters and your publishers, music publishers, and so Ni Modo has has to do with one of the stories that I told you about that I would listen to back
Yeah.
in the day.
Back in the day.
Yes, with my grandmother, and I dreaded those visits, but man, now I thank her for taking me.
Y'all are simply magical. You've also worked with this guy.
Sí, Carlos P. Garcia, saludos, Carlos, Carlitos, also from Laredo. We worked on a collaboration song that I wrote for the holidays called Feliz Holidays, and so that song,
Truly bilingual.
yeah, bilingual, exactly. And, you know, because of my students, I have some bilingual students in my classes, and so I wanted them. They're gonna listen to my music. They need to also sing it in English and Spanish to practice. And in general, right? Anybody that wants to learn English, this is a perfect song because you're singing in English and in Spanish.
And this venture has have you rubbing elbows with this guy.
Yes, El Gato Negro.
I mean, you're just and to be sure, I'm sure it has not been easy, and I'm sure it's been a lot of hard work to be out there, and especially being we know any teachers out there know that being a teacher is a 24/7 job. So, having you do that, and like you said, a lot of people ask you. I ask myself, when the heck do you have the time to do this and the video? I love your video. I love the outfit you have on. I mean, sadly, I cannot show it, but you guys go to YouTube. Go to what is Maritza Gomez. Look for Maritza Gomez on YouTube and check out her videos. How do you find the time? And what I loved your answer. How do you find the time, Miss Maritza Gomez?
So my YouTube channel, it's Maritza Gomez 2020. Go and visit. Check out my songs and my album, Así, released in 2023. So I think that I strongly believe that everyone is able to do what they want to do if they have the passion to do it. So I'm at school. I'm the English teacher. I'm the high school swim coach. I'm also the sponsor for several clubs, and then I'm a mom. I'm a wife, and I make time to drive up and visit my daughter here at UT. Uh, I make time for my son who's studying nursing,
Oh.
and then we also have a dog, a Labradoodle. His name is Astro, and I think, and then of course, my music, and just finding some time to reflect and write from the soul. I don't write
Yeah.
from the heart. I write from my soul,
Oh.
and um, and then getting to the studio, get your support system in the studio, and start making some magic.
I love it. I love your message. I think you're very inspiring. I think you're very inspiring. You know what? And there's other teachers out there. I believe Miss Laura Jean is out there working on something, recording. Miss Saludos, Miss Laura Jean. Um, there's another teacher. Cindy Ramos. I believe Cindy Ramos is also a teacher and she's singing out there. So, you know what? Maybe this is a perfect side gig for you teachers out there. Hello. Welcome to Tejano. Get in there. If you've been wanting to, if you've been dreaming, it was something that, a dream that you had maybe put away, it's time to take it out. It's time to take it out. Go out there, record yourself, and be heard and be out there. You're very inspiring to anybody that maybe had thought that it's too late. Forget it. It's too hard. Whatever reasons anybody gives themselves, right? So I think you're very inspiring, Miss Maritza Gomez, and I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. I mean, but you're already, you're already such an accomplished person in your career as a school teacher, and now getting recognized and accolades as a singer. um what a blessing, what a blessing, and a very, very inspiring. I love this picture of you. What's that, what were you getting there?
So this is the recognition of my accomplishments, from my school board, from Laredo Independent School District, after returning from the Pura Vida Awards.
Wow.
Yes. And so it was very exciting and an emotional time, to be um, present for this recognition, um, alongside, of course, my superintendent, my school administrators, um, the school board, and of course, faculty, staff, students, and the public, and in the boardroom. So, and of course, my family, and the musicians that were able to attend. So it was. Oh, and I also had, the support from the alumni, the class of 1989. Saludos a los 89ers. We're gonna have our soon coming up.
You're a 1989 graduate. I'm a 1988 graduate. Wow. So that's really good to know that you have that support system that's backing you up, and that says a lot. I mean, I know I read once, I think the Stephen Covey book, Seven Habits of Successful People. If I'm not mistaken, that might be the one where it says the people you surround yourself with is one of the most important things for your success.
Yes, absolutely. And I was contemplating on the way down, because remember I told you it was in Round Rock when we spoke earlier, because that's where our conference was, and that's where I was going to receive the award for the Texas Association of Bilingual Educators conference, and I knew that at 12 o'clock we were going to go live, and we had to drive back to University of Texas. I was contemplating and thinking, where am I gonna, do the interview, and feel comfortable doing it. And so then we're driving and we find a parking spot, uh, and so I said, no, I want to do it there where all the youth is, donde todos se juntan. And out here, they also have a stage
Oh,
where musicians come and they entertain the students while they're eating in this area. Um, and I said that's where I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have
awesome.
it there to and I earlier there were some students that were eating and when we started talking before we went live, I did tell them. I said, we're gonna be going live in a little bit. And I didn't tell them about what. I just said it's
Tell them, look up Giras y Desveladas on YouTube or Tejano TV. Yeah, you got the shirt on. Tell them there's Giras y I'm going to be on Giras y Desveladas on Tejano TV. Plug for Miss Lila Mendoza and Mr. Juan Mendoza Jr.
and I got that energy from them, because going to study away from their homes also, it's challenging for them. They leave their homes to better themselves, to get a degree, and even right now that I'm talking to you, there's some students that are eating. They got their laptops. They're doing their homework, and all by themselves without their families. And, so I'm very proud of them in that sense. So that's why I said it's got to be there. I
Yes.
need to be there, and where I can see all this going on.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. I love that. What was another picture I want to show? There, that's you at the Pura Vida Awards.
That's me, my husband, Kika G. Love you. Yes. It was an amazing experience to be at the Pura Vida Awards, to have been nominated alongside with Patsy Torres, Elida Reina, uh, and it was an all moment. Um, it's a beautiful place. It's just you can't miss it. Let me just tell you that. Next year's Pura Vida Awards, you need to make time to go. Everybody
Eh,
go. It's beautiful. And
And
Danny Farias, saludos, Danny. It was an amazing job. It was amazing.
yes, I know Mr. Mendoza wanted us to go out there, but I have health issues, so it's a to travel is kind of, I have to have my assistant, my sister. So, things have to be planned out really carefully. But yeah, I think definitely we will make it to the next one. What about that?
That I want to do a shout out. Oh yes, so this was some of the mariachis that 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 played with me in one of the performances. Este,
I
yeah,
love your dress. I love your outfit.
Jay Perez. One thing that it's very memorable. Saludos a Jay Perez. One thing that he said when he went up on stage at the Pura Vida Awards, and who's very inspiring. His words were very inspiring and motivational for all of those that were nominated. Um, he said, um, "You came this far, right? This was at the Pura Vida Awards. You came this far. Your music brought you here. So whether you go home with an award or not, you're nominated. You already won."
You're already a winner. That's correct. Yeah. Yep, that is right. You are, and you're a winner in my book. I'm just so glad I got to know more about you. I love this outfit too.
Okay, yeah. So that was recently. Yes, that
I,
was
uh,
Puerto's photo shoot that we had.
and that was you had this album as well.
That was my single. That song, El Campo Santo, is in my album. The album is called Así, released in 2023. That song, El Campo Santo, is in there in that album. And so I wrote it again, as a tribute to my grandmother, um, who used to take me to the Dia de los Muertos festivities. And a lot of my songs came out of those stories that I would hear uh, during those festivities.
Wow. No, I love your story. I love how you're working so hard, and that is admirable because it's easy. it's easy to say, nah, mejor no, right? But you're actually doing it and you're putting yourself out there, and look at how far you've gotten. You're getting the accolades, you're getting the recognition. You're, I mean, it's very, very inspiring. And for anybody, I'm sure that maybe has been hesitant, if you this is a message for people at large. If you've been hesitant about and you've had that dream in your heart, just go for it. Right, Miss Gomez?
Yes. Just keep thriving for those goals. And I always tell my students, don't settle for just reaching it. Exceed it.
Yeah,
Exceed the goal.
I
Exceed
love that.
anything that you put your heart and soul to do. Always exceed those goals. Don't just settle for accomplishing.
Well, I've just had a wonderful time today, getting to know you, getting to know all about Maritza Gomez, not just the performer, the singer, but the person that is out there inspiring every day as a teacher. As we all know, that is not an easy part of, yeah, life, but you're also following your dreams, and your ambitions, and you're getting things done, and you're just very inspiring. I'm glad that I'm glad to see women out there. You're one of those that are just out there and just putting yourselves out there for everybody to hear and to listen what's in your heart. And like you said, your soul. You're writing songs from your soul. And I love that. Any parting words for uh, our audience today, Miss Marita Gomez?
Yes, I'm just really excited to contribute um, to future artists in one way or another. Being a female artist and a single songwriter, it's not easy, especially when you're female writing your own songs or writing songs in general. Um, you, I feel, or I'd like to think that I'm somehow paving the road, knocking down one barrier at a time for those that are coming behind me, other women that are going to hopefully one day write songs. We don't have many women in our national registry that write songs,
True.
and I'd like to see more women um, registering their music um, at the national level, to to grow that that aspect of our own individuality with our own music,
Yes.
and and register them, in the national registry through copyright.
Yes.
And I think, you know, even the women's right to vote was started decades ago, and now we have that right. Voting is coming up, and we can easily now go into and vote to whoever we'd like in office. And I think it's time now to grow that registry of women songwriters. And and so one day, hopefully, just like now, we think of we got the right to vote, and we can walk in anywhere and vote as women. Maybe one day we're listening to music that's written by women, not just one, two, or three here and there.
Look at it. Marcus Daniels showed up last minute.
Ah,
Hello, Marcus Daniels. How you doing?
saludos, Marcus Daniels.
Saludos, one of the three amigos of the Three Amigos show on Tejano TV. Welcome to Giras y Desveladas. Well, I love your parting words, Miss Maritza Gomez. I love what you're doing. I love what you're standing for. And you're very inspiring. I think you're a very positive role model for anybody out there, either wanting to be a teacher or they're a teacher and want to sing, or just being a female and wanting to get themselves out there. You've got a lot of words of wisdom for everybody. I'm glad I got to know Miss Maritza Gomez, and I'm so happy that you got on the show to share your life, your story, and where you're going. So we're rooting for you. Good luck. God be with you, and God be with your family. Que todos estén bien. And thank you so much. I want to thank everybody that's watching on live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Tejano TV Live. And if you're not watching this live, you're watching this later on Tejano TV on Giras y Desveladas channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Laila Mendoza and Juan Mendoza Jr. And thank you for everything that you're doing for Tejano Music. And as part of president of the Tejano Music Legacy Foundation, I'll be putting out a video of handing over the donations from Linda Escobar, Mel Hearts Music, and Juan Guerrero Los Chicanos. Anybody else want to donate? Ms. Marita Gomez will be donating a jacket as well. We could probably put that up for a raffle or something so we could get money because we will be providing scholarships for the students as well. So, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Let me put the outro, Miss Gomez, and then wait for me a little bit, and uh, and then we'll come on.
If you want to listen to my music, they're on all digital platforms. Also, follow me on my YouTube channel, Maritza Gomez 2020. On TikTok, Maritza Gomez 2021. Shoot me a message if you want to collaborate or work on one of my songs that I wrote. Shoot me a message. Con todo gusto, con todo corazón, se los mando. Y muchas gracias por escuchar mis canciones, por tocar mis canciones a todos los DJs. Huge shout out to all of you, todos los internet radio stations, FMAM radio networks. Muchas gracias por escuchar mis canciones, por tocarlas y to trust my music. Muchas gracias a todos. And no te digo adiós, pero hasta la próxima.
Awesome. Good job. I love that. Bye bye, guys. Thank you. Bye.